it went to kind of that game of, hey, we've got to at least make them throw under duress and hope that our guys can make, a couple plays here and there. And then, like I said, 3 4th down conversions for 21 points. That's really was the difference. The 4th and 4, I think, we get pressure, we don't contain them. If we contain them and do our job there, we're off the field. Like I said, the long 4th and 10 where crosses right there. We're one extra step away from picking it. We time our jump a little bit too soon, and then beat us on the other long one there coming out of the timeout. So obviously there's always calls. You say, well, should I have called this here? Should I have called that there? I wish we would have jetted our D line up more. Looking back at it, it's just I felt like when we did, we weren't consistently been able to contain them. Like I said, made enough plays to win, but as you call it, the long run at the end, we're in 2-man. They stole our signals, so that doesn't help. And then B, like I said, they tackled us. We missed the tackle at free safety. But at that point in the game, you're trying to die a slow death, and at some point you just got to swallow your pride, and points don't matter. Let's win the game, and not give up a 50-yard bomb. And they handed off inside zone, which they hadn't run the ball really the whole game. We prepared for a lot more wide in the core than open sets, which is what they'd shown on film, and we got a lot more open sets. And I think it's really probably was matchups and just honestly the way the game was going. It became just a shootout fest of how deep can we throw it and let our fast guys run in space. So.
How big were the turnovers, and just to see that part of the game really be the difference of it too?
Yeah, no, those 2 turnovers in the first half, like I said, that's what separated the game. They never stopped us on offense. It was unreal to, I didn't have much of a chance to watch it during the game, but that's what separated the game early. And like I said, I think if there's 3, 4, 4th downs that we get a stop, then it's an 80-35 game. But the way that game was going, the way that they decided they were going to sling it, it was going to be a wide open game, So.
Do you have any update on Stephon Wright? Where he's at right now?
So hopefully he can go this week. We're hopeful.
So what do you tell the guys, though? I feel like, after giving up that many points, it might be like a self-reflection point. You tell them just, hey, it's kind of what's
I think we just got to, we got to tackle better. Like I said, there's going to be, when you play good teams, and they had 2 really good wideouts, like there's going to be, like the inside slot fade they completed on Nick down there. Unbelievable throw and catch. Their guy made a heck of a throw and catch. There's some of that's going to happen, especially when we're struggling, when you're not doing a good job containing them in a 4-man rush. We had talked about playing some drop 8, but I think they would have just eventually gotten open, which is kind of what they'd shown on film. They just hadn't. They played with more pace against us, I think, because how the game was going. It was just going to be 2-minute drill, and that's what the game became, was a 2-minute drill. So, no, I think look, they know that we've played good defense at times this season against good teams, and we just have to do it consistently. But like the tackling piece and those things are areas where we really got to get better, and that's the main focal point. This week is just getting guys down in space, and it's been all season, and we got to continue to harp on it.
USF, takes their lumps this year. Then they have a coaching change. Do you have to be on the lookout for anything new that they might not have shown on film, or just even a team that's playing with a little bit of motivation? Or
I think in a situation like this, most times teams play with a lot of spirit. When you see coaches that you've had relationships with that aren't in the building anymore, and those things, so I think that they're talented, they're athletic, they've got good team speed. They have a good offense. Really they've got 2 wideouts that are slot. They can really run an outside receiver. That's one of the better ones in the conference. Good running back. You watch them on film. They played Tulane really close. That's a close ball game. They played Cincinnati. That's a close ball game. They've played good teams in our conference. So we're more focused on us and getting better at us right now at this point in the season. And obviously this game means a lot. This is bowl eligibility. This is we got 3 games in 18, 19 days that we play. So the whole motto since we got here was, this team wanted to finish at the end of the season and win games down the stretch, which we hadn't done, and we've got an opportunity, to go on the road and get bowl eligible, and that's what we're focused on right now.
After a game like that, I mean, look, it trended that way. It happened, and it became that shootout. But some of the maybe technique things in the secondary, did you guys take more time to kind of look at some of those things on tape and say, well, if you had done this and that, you might have been in a little bit of a better spot?
Yeah, when it comes to tackling, so I mean, it's hard during the season. There's fundamentals that you teach within tackling, but to actually tackle that practice, I just think is a little bit irresponsible with the amount of depth that we have. So, like today, we told them that you have to thud up every single back in scout team. We've been doing that, but we're going to continue to harp on it. But you've got to teach tackling drills, strike timing, crash tackle, gator roll tackle, all the different tackles, in the amount of time we have. And then, I think really where you got to get good with those guys and prove moving forward is tackling more in spring ball and fall camp. I think that has to be a point of emphasis for us down the road. But right now it's the technique and it's the want to, right? I think that's the other thing is those guys have got to have a desire to make those plays and get those guys down. And that's a mentality and it's a choice. So we'll continue to coach the details and hold them to a standard. And look, we knew it was going to be a process. We've seen the highs, we've went through some lows and everything in between, but I think we've got a good core that we can continue to build on. And look, I was frustrated after the game. I take pride in the job that we do. But at the end of the day, we won the game. And at some point, you got to be able to let your ego aside and be happy that it's like Coach said. If our defense hadn't played the way we had in the Cincinnati game, it'd have been a 40-point blowout. So we needed them to play good, and they did, and we made enough plays, luckily, for us to win. So.